Today I'm going to show you time tracking in LeanLaw, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can track time. All are equally good, and they were built for different time tracking personalities. The first will be this calendar view that you'll see shortly. I'll also show you the time entries view and what we call a LeanLaw desktop tracker. In this calendar view, it's meant to mimic the old day planner so that you can see visually what you did during the day and find gaps. If I open a time entry, you get our standard time entry form. We see the date, who the timekeeper is, of course, who the client and the matter is, and I can just use search buttons to find client and matters, meaning I can just type in a few snippets of letters and the client will be sorted, or I can pick by matter. Your narrative and description here, that will end up on the invoice. You'll have plenty of opportunities to edit that later in the invoicing process, so it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can write almost as much as and little as you want. We also have things called tasks, which are essentially the narrative of your time entry, these repeatable phrases that you write over and over. We bill in either tenths or quarter hours. This is 1 hour, but we use 6-minute increments or 15-minute increments. Any time entry can be marked non-billable. We defer it to be billable, of course, but non-billable means that it's ready for internal tracking purposes, but also can be added to a line item on an invoice as a $0 entry. The start and end time is only material to this calendar view so that you can see gaps. A second time tracking tool is what we call Desktop Tracker. This is an installed application on a Mac or a PC. In here we have 3 tabs. My Matters. These are the matters that you have visibility to with the matter that you interacted with last on top. My Day. These are the time entries that I saw, and if you notice, it's the same 3 time entries that I saw in the calendar viewer here because they're always in sync. This talks to the LeanLaw cloud continuously, but you don't need to do any work to update it. It will do it on itself. And then timers. These are the same timers that I saw up on the time tracker. To do a time entry here, I just pick my matter, whether I sort for it, like Smith, or whether I pick my most recent one, Bob, and I get this same time entry field. I can see I can drive it by my task. I had a phone call. I picked my date. We did this today. We did 4/10 of an hour. I say billable and save it to timesheet. I'm done. There's no additional work. So this, in many instances, is sort of planted on the user's screen. And of course, during the course of the day, they're just adding their time by clicking on matters and using this plus button. Of course, they can initiate their timers here. We can have as many timers open as we'd like, but only one can be active at a time. To convert a timer into a time entry, I just simply save to timesheet, and it opens up that same time entry form that we've seen before. Now, back to our third tool, heading back to LeanLaw. First, if you'll notice, just by refreshing the page, there's that last time entry that I did online. So we see a big gap. Why didn't we track any time between 10:30 and 2? That's the point of the calendar, is to give that visual representation, whether I do it in day view or some people like to look at it in week view. What did I do during the course of the week? This is the demo account, so it's not very full, but you get the concept. Hey, no time was tracked Tuesday in the morning. So I showed you the calendar view. I showed you the desktop tool. Let's now look at time entries. Time entries is more conventional. It's list generation. To create an entry here, I simply use the create entry field here. It follows the same format. I can use those tasks to drive my time entry, or I can just type in my narrative. I can enter time for a third party. So if I'm an administrator, this is a great bulk entry tool. I can also review my time here. So by simply clicking on a time entry, I have full editing capabilities. So if I want to quickly go back and track my time, that's easy to do. I can also sort. So if I want to type in Bob to look at Bob's Box Company, I can see all of the unbilled time here. If I want to look at what was billed, I just flip that. I've never billed this client anything. Over this month, if I change the time parameter, I can see that I billed Bob $760 at a January time, and the rest is February. Of course, I can look at all time here. and look that I cumulatively billed Bob 7.2 hours or $1,610. Now my rates here are derived based on my standard rate, and of course I can have multiple rates, and those rates can be assigned at the client and matter level. As needed, I could print my time and or export it. So if you ever had a judiciary summary or some other need to get your time in a list view, easily done, easily exported here. If I'm looking at more than one client, so let's just X out of that, and it loads lots of entries, I can sort my time here by client, by hours, by date, by timekeeper. So time entries is meant for bulk keyboard driven time entry for those people who like their hands on the keyboard the whole time and tab through it. Calendar time entry was built for those folks that want to look at a single day and find gaps and just click and time. And then the time tracking tool was meant for those people who don't want to be working in a browser during the course of the day and just want a companion tool on their desktop. So that's how you track time in LeanLaw. We also have a mobile app that's available on iPhone and Android for time tracking on the go. Thanks for watching and have a great day.